Hi, this is Karon Thackston with Marketing Words. I'm excited to be with Anthony from PickFu again. We're going to talk about split testing and market research and finding out precisely what your customers or folks that are very similar to your customers are looking for when it comes to the different types of marketing that you do. The reason for this is because obviously the more they are into what you're putting out as far as content goes, landing pages, the images that are on the pages, the copy that's on the pages, websites, any other type of marketing that you create, you're going to want it to resonate with these people. So it's extremely helpful to be able to do split testing of sorts. Usually what you find, however, or what I've found, is you get a yes or no. Do you like this page? Yes or no. And that's all you get. 27% said yes, 5% said no. Awesome. Here we go. And it's going to be a hit. Doesn't always work that way. What I love about PickFu is that not only do you get a poll answer, yes, no, maybe, whatever the choices are for that split test, but you also get actual feedback, detailed feedback from the individuals who are participating in that poll. And sometimes those comments are the gold nuggets you need. Yes, they might like it, but if all of these people are saying the same thing, you need to change this, they hate the color, whatever. Those are cool little details that you wouldn't have gotten anyplace else. So Anthony, I'm excited to have you back again. Always love talking with you. I'm going to turn it over to you and let you give us a demo of a poll and then walk us through why PickFu is so awesome to help us get better results with our marketing.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Karon. I'm excited to be back as well. Today's presentation is all going to be about using PickFu for the applications that are more related to marketing. So you've started a business, now you're marketing your services, and PickFu can be super helpful in this regard because a lot of us, maybe we don't come necessarily from a creative background. We're trying to put our businesses together and we're not quite sure where to go. And so today I'm going to start off with a poll. I always like to start off with an example. Basically, what we've done here is Karon sent this over to me before we started the call, and this is a landing page for a copywriting guide, a copywriting cheat sheet. It's going to be really helpful. And so what we've done is I've taken a little quick screen grab of this landing page and I've uploaded it into PickFu. And what we're going to be doing today is actually open-ended feedback. So rather than, we could upload two different options, maybe a variation of this, but what we're going to do today, because let's say we're early on, this is one of the first times we're launching this funnel, we just want to get some generalized feedback and overall thoughts. We don't really have anything that we want to compare it to just yet. So I've come into PickFu, I've clicked open-ended feedback, and then I've typed in my question. And this was, would you download this free guide, which is going to help to make your copywriting better? I've uploaded my image. And then what I'm going to do as well, you can click only feedback. What I've done is I've clicked, I want a 1 through 5 star rating, just so I'll get an idea. Maybe people hate this, right? But the cool thing is with PickFu is we want to go in, we want people to be very critical, and we're going to see what we can learn from the feedback and the responses. In terms of my audience targeting, I have done this now for 50 people. And then I've clicked the targeted audience of small business owners, people who are running side hustles. So these are potentially a target market of, I want to sell this copywriting guide. These are business owners that know that copywriting is important. Everyone knows that they could get better at it. And so maybe we're going to get some good feedback here. And so, yeah, with that being said, I'm just going to go to my checkout and we're going to let this one run in the background while, oh my goodness, let me sign into my team account. So real quick.
They're going to make you pay for that, Anthony.
Yeah, well, we do still pay for it, but yeah, let me see here. I'll just get this poll reset up. And then, okay. So we got the copy here. So let's see. I just got would you, oh man, we're going to see how good my copywriting is. Download this, what do we call it?
Copywriting cheat sheet or guide, whatever's shorter, to make your copywriting better.
Okay, and we're just going to do this for open-ended feedback, and we don't need an option B. We're going to do a 1 through 5 star rating. So this is a real quick demo on how easy it is to set up, even though I had to start from scratch. No big deal. It literally just takes a few seconds. And then I'm going to put in, I want people with side hustles. And then now we're going to start the poll. So for real this time, we're going to let this run in the background. And now we're going to go over and talk about, okay, so we're going now, we're collecting data, and we're just going to let this thing run. So now let's go through and we'll talk a little bit about some of the different examples here. This is what I would call as a central framework of PickFu, kind of how PickFu works specifically for the marketing applications. And for those of you who don't know, PickFu has a pretty interesting story on how it started. The founders were working on a development website. They're doing some development work for a website that helped to categorize product menus or restaurant menus. And they kept butting heads on different creative concepts, like what things should look like, what pages should look like. And they said, I wish we had a way to, get real people's opinions, that we don't have to just ask our spouse or ask each other or like get into disagreements. And so they created PickFu just as a self-need. And then as things happen is they started showing their friends and they said, how can I do that as well? So that's kind of how it started. We expanded from just business ideas to people who are publishing books, like getting feedback on their book covers. And now we do e-commerce, mobile game development, and it's used kind of everywhere. So I do want to say, if you haven't used PickFu before, you should definitely use the code marketingwords, or you can go to pickfu.com/marketingwords and you'll get 50% off of your first poll. So that's pretty sweet. You can start for a really, really great price. With that being said, let's just jump in with what is PickFu. Basically, simply stated, PickFu is do-it-yourself market research. You've got an idea, whether it's for a logo, for a brand, whatever it might be, and you can take that idea and you can show it to a panel of more than 10,000 people. They're all real. They're based in the United States, and you can get feedback from real people on your idea. So that's really as simple as it is. When I talk to most business owners, especially people that are just starting out, I say, okay, well, where are you currently going to get feedback on your different ideas? And the vast majority of people are saying they're going to their family, right? Their partner, their spouse, and they're like, hey, babe, what do you think about my product packaging?
Babe doesn't always know.
Yeah, and probably babe is likely to get frustrated after
That's right.
6 months of coming back and saying, okay, they might not have the best perspective. Another big thing that I hear from business owners, especially more veteran business owners, is they say, well, I just go with my gut. I just know kind of what works. I've been doing this a while. The last group is people asking maybe their friends, maybe the random stranger in Starbucks, tapping them on the shoulder again. Hey, what do you think about this landing page?
Yo, dude, leave me alone. I'm drinking my coffee.
Right, exactly. And so the thing is, there's nothing particularly wrong with any of these methods, whether you're going and asking your family or you're going with your own gut intuition or your friends. It's just that these might not be right. And it kind of makes sense as to why. You can have an amazing knack for business, but there's just certain things that you want to get feedback on, and it's very, very helpful. And so that's kind of where PickFu comes in. It allows you to stop guessing and start knowing. You can get feedback really, really fast. As you're going to see from this poll today, most tests are going to take within about 30 minutes to an hour to complete. You can pick targeted audiences. So today we pick small business owners, but you could say, I only want moms ages 45 plus that have this type of income. So we have a whole bunch of different targeting factors, whether they're demographic traits or hobbies, a whole bunch of different factors that you can choose. But then really where the magic of PickFu comes from is people are not just voting yes or no, they're giving you detailed feedback. And so that's really where the magic comes from. You get these out of the box ideas that you probably wouldn't have thought of on your own. The other thing that I want to just note, because we're going to show a lot of examples today, is PickFu is 100% private. So I know every business owner is very nervous about their ideas and their intellectual property getting out. Everyone on the PickFu poll, they've signed an NDA. They've been trained that these are private ideas. So any of the examples we show, we have permission to show. Your information will never be shared in a presentation. So this is a little of what the user interface looks like. We're going to go through some live examples today. You can test 2 options. You can actually test up to 8 options simultaneously. And so you can very easily identify what's the winner. But again, where the real magic comes from is I don't really mind so much what's the winner and what's the loser. I care much more about the feedback and what can I learn, right? When we're building our businesses, it's all, success, I think a lot in entrepreneurship really comes down to your ability to make iterations and make changes and, learn from what you've put out there. And so that's really where the magic of PickFu comes from.
And a lot of
The
people
last thing,
get
go ahead.
nervous about a lot of people get nervous about the feedback. What if they don't like it? It's different to see somebody come back with a poll with a yes or no or a do or don't or whatnot, where they said, 65% of the people said no, they didn't like it. But when they start going into detail, people get nervous. But this is the goal. This is what you want. And if you can find a way to put the emotion aside and take it as them offering constructive criticism or suggestions that are going to help you make more money with whatever the promotion is that you're doing, it's just a gold mine of ideas and tips directly from the people who you would be marketing to. If you get nervous about reading possibly negative feedback about something or ideas that you may or may not agree with, have your virtual assistant or another team member go through all of the feedback and just bring you the synopsis, the little narrow down part, not all the details about it. Nobody on these polls is going to be rude by any stretch of the imagination. That's not what they do. So you're not going to have people yelling at you or saying, this is stupid. But still, if you get nervous about things like that, just have somebody else do it.
Yeah, that's a really good tip there. And I think a lot of you should be going in, you should be really craving that critical feedback, because that's really what's going to help your brands to grow and develop.
Yep.
What I will say is that, market research is nothing new. Big companies have been doing this since the beginning of time. When a major brand like Nike or Under Armour, when they launch a product or service, they're going to spend 45 to 75 grand minimum per product just on research. And so the good news and kind of why PickFu was created is like, how can you give access to that same market research, but for a lot lower price? And so PickFu is going to start at $50 per test, just $1 per response. And then, people generally might be testing as much as 20 to 30 times across their product line or across their business. That's obviously if you have the cash to do it. But what we will say is that it's going to be helpful even just with one test. And so what I recommend doing is identify the things in your business that are going to get the most eyeballs, that are going to need to perform very well, and think about focusing on those items. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, let's jump right in. These are kind of what we would say are the most common tests and some of the more common applications for business and marketing testing. First and foremost is your business name, right? I see this, people just run into this all the time. And so you can go and say, maybe you have, in this example, this is for a training company. And it's like, do they want to try bank your knowledge or firsthand knowledge or can do course? So this person is selling courses and they're getting some feedback on a few different early ideas that they have. As well, too, this is a big one, people deciding on their agency naming, right? So we've got advertising studio, we've got naked ads. This is actually part of a bigger test where they were going through a lot of different ideas going through for this one, which is going to manage Amazon brand store.
See, that one is a very good example of something where the feedback would come in, because you have the two options. And while they may have chosen this one because as someone who's answering these polls, they have to choose something. But in the comments, they may say, I really wasn't all that excited about either one of these. This is the one I like the best. But how about if you combined them in a certain way or something like that? So the feedback is really awesome.
Yeah, really good point there as well. Your company logos are another big one, right? Let's say that you've gone through some versions of your brand name. Now you figured, okay, I want Amplify the Stylist to be my brand name, but what about how's the logo going to look? And this is where PickFu, I think, is much more helpful, is in terms of optimizing visual content, because there's really an infinite number of possibilities that you can have for your logo. And so when we're looking at the feedback from this, they're saying that option B, the reason they liked it is, I think this was the client, what they were testing for is this was some kind of a podcast about hairstylists. And what they were saying is that this one looked very dark and it almost looked a little bit creepy, and this looked like
it does.
When they're saying this, it's like, okay, I could see the music, I could see the hair, it looked much more clean, the font type. And so these are the things that you're going to learn. Maybe it's like, this logo isn't still even fully developed, but this is like much better than option A. So it's like, okay, and how can we even make a better version after this?
Yeah.
Branding and artwork as well. So this is for a podcast called The Caring CEO. And so this is once you start getting down into a more specific, like okay, this is the template of what the logo is going to look like. they've tested this multiple times at this point, but now what they're trying to do is figure out, okay, we know what the logo is going to look like. What should the color scheme be? And so really dialing in. A logo is something that you're going to probably have for a long time. You're going to trademark it. You're going to, that's going to be yours. And so this might not be something that you're going to be switching all that often. And so going through the tests early on to figure out not only what the logo should look like, but then what the color scheme should look like is very helpful. Also too, for idea generation, right? So this is, someone asking about, okay, what features would you like to see with a product that shows you recommended social influencers? So this was about creating a platform around social influencers. And so they wanted to know like how a page should be set up, or you can use it for, in this case, like what's going to make you interested in looking to start a, for going for this marketing campaign investment. Mm-hmm. We can see this as well too, like people try to test and see what their content delivery method should be. So they're saying this was for someone who's creating a YouTube channel and they wanted to know, should they put their format out? And this was like more of a technical guide. Should they put this out in written format with screenshots and you're kind of reading an article, or did people want to see a video? And so it might seem really obvious what the answer is here, right? And you're like, well, everyone wants to watch video nowadays, but the feedback was heavily skewed towards option A. And they're saying, when I'm learning software, a video is actually not helpful because the video is moving and progressing much too quick. I want to get to a step and it's just, the article's not automatically scrolling. And so this YouTube channel had like an aha moment because they're like, well, I have a YouTube channel, but the way that people actually want to consume the content is going to be a written content with screenshots. And so what they actually made the videos then do is they had the video, but it was following a format of kind of going through how, if you were pairing it with the article, it was like saying, okay, you can pause now. And this is step on the article that you were going to.
That's a good idea.
It was very, very clever.
That's a good idea.
And so these are like nuanced things that you might learn from using PickFu. Ad copy generation is helpful as well. This can be, I'd say this is more helpful. Like in this example, they're saying which ad copy grabs your attention. It makes you want to learn more. And so this is for like a grocery delivery store. This is the idea where putting things through a very big funnel can be very helpful in identifying big wins easy. And so again, this is, you just look inside the feedback and you can get some really good ideas. And it's also easy, sometimes things that you think like all-in-one delivery, it's really simple. It sounds really good, but people are much more, they wanted to see grocery delivery personalized or automate your shopping cart. So just helpful for funneling through a large search of ideas. We also use this when we're creating ads. Like this is very expensive to go through and hire a professional voiceover. You're putting one version of that voiceover out there. You want it to be good. So we've used it in our own ads, and we'll test different voiceover artists before we sign the contract, and we pay them, a few $100s, and we're going to start running the ads. You're going to have different options to choose here. People also do this as well with like their stock footage. Let's say they're choosing between different stock footage clips. They want to see, okay, which ones are going to best resonate or have the best visual aesthetic that matches the rest of our ad.
Yeah.
We have one here too. It's like, this is for landing page optimization. And so here we're asking, these are quite similar. They're just slightly different designs. And so which landing page are you more likely to convert on? Which one are you more likely to click? And then we're going to read through the feedback and see, okay, what do people actually like about these designs? And then I think this is the last example here, but for podcast production, we just had a big guy who has a huge podcast down in South Florida. He used this. You won't be able to see it here. I was nervous about putting a video inside the slide presentation, but this was for a podcast intro. So he recorded 2 versions that were very, very well done, very highly produced. And there was just, the difference was the sound backtrack. It was kind of the background music for it. And you can't see it, but like option A was much more smooth. They were both really good options, which is why the votes were so close, but got some really good feedback there as well. So that's kind of where I'll wrap it up today in terms of average usage. We've kind of been through this. What we're seeing is generally people are using about 3 to 5 creative tests per concept. And I would just recommend that when you're getting started, don't be nervous. Just start off with 1 test. You're going to start seeing an ROI even with a single test. But run the test, analyze the feedback, kind of apply that feedback, and then repeat that in your process. So don't take my word for it. We can come here and we can see the results right now. This is a little bit more of a niche group, these small business owners. So these are actually finding real people in our panel. We've already got 14 responses, and we can start to take a look at what people are saying here. Good copywriting is, people are saying that it's important. Some people are saying it looks a little bit generic. There might not be too much content. I hate the visuals. The font is ugly. The text is poorly organized, right? So like some of them are somewhat critical, which I might be able to understand that a little bit. They're saying, yes, I think this looks helpful. And I would, as a writer, I'm trying to grow and learn new tips and secrets of the trade. This intrigues me with 5 tiny words. So maybe like the 5 tiny words is something that's real important. That really helped to pull this person in.
And do you know, look what Anthony's doing as he's scrolling over these. You see what's popping up? This person is a female with an income between 0 and 30,000, graduate degree, and it gives the age range and some other information as well. So as you go through, if that's important to you, if your audience tends to be more female than male or the other way around, you can take a look and kind of qualify, okay, well, that's just because he's a guy,
right.
or whatnot. But yeah, I love that pops up.
Yeah, it's super helpful. You can kind of see where people are from. A couple other features I do want to note here is like, let's say I'm reading this, so this person's saying it looks a little generic. It doesn't really hold my attention. So this is good, right? You could go back and you could go back to, let's go back to our designers and let's say, okay, how can we make this pop? Maybe like we put in a title, people were talking about the fonts, like what can we do to maybe make this, a pop a bit more, and really kind of rethink this. People did like the bullet points that they were saying, like these are interesting things that they want to learn about. So maybe it's like we change the styling on the font. But yeah, so you can, a couple other features I did just want to quickly mention is like, let's say I think this is helpful. You can pin different responses and then the URL will maintain these. So I could like share these with my designer and say, hey, go check out the pin responses and then make some changes based on those. The other thing is you can click helpful or not helpful. So I saw this one up here, good copywriting is of most importance to me. I'd say we do a really good job of filtering out the panel, and we're always like snipping people and removing people. But maybe you come here and you're like, I don't think that this is actually very good, right? So I might click not helpful, and then I can say didn't answer the question and submit. And what this is actually going to do is it's going to help train our machine learning algorithm in terms of it picks out these responses automatically, and then these people can be thinned out from the panel. The opposite of that is if you see something that's like, wow, this is really good, you can click helpful, and then that person is usually given a little bonus, and that again helps to train the algorithm. So we're always filtering out our data. And then at the bottom here as well, you can kind of get these demographic charts, which kind of break down the data by the demographics. So it can be helpful as well for analyzing the data. I will give this code to, we can maybe put it in the description. It should complete in about an hour. And, when we post a video, if people want to go through and see what are the responses, then they can go do that.
Great. That's awesome. Yeah, I love that feedback because it does, as a copywriter, a lot of times we're focusing on getting the copy the way that it should be on a landing page, making it short and sweet. How much do you put? You don't want to put too much and make it overcrowded. You don't want to leave it too much, but it sounds like we could do a better job on that page with the design. So that information is very helpful. We will definitely go back and tweak that page. Awesome.
Sounds good. Well, yeah, that's everything I've got.
Wonderful. I thank you so much for the demo. It's always enlightening to be in your company, Anthony, and be able to see all the stuff that PickFu offers people. I will leave the information below with the link and the coupon code. And then when Anthony gets me the link to the finished test, we'll put that as well. So you can go through and experience that for yourself. But if you have questions for me or for Anthony about PickFu or about copywriting for that matter, you can put them below under the video in the comments section as well. Thanks so much for being with us again, Anthony. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.